Have you ever stopped to think about the journey a simple piece of sushi takes to get to your plate? When we order a sushi combo, we usually think, it's that Japanese dish with raw fish and vinegared rice. But what if I told you that sushi wasn't actually born in Japan? And what if I told you that for centuries, nobody ate the rice? That's right, the story of the dish that is synonymous with sophistication worldwide started in a very, very different way. Come along as we dive into the history of sushi. It all began over 1,200 years ago, not on the Japanese islands, but in the basins of the Mekong and Irrawaddy rivers, in modern-day Thailand, Laos, and Myanmar. Back then, there were no refrigerators, obviously. The only need was to preserve fish. And the solution came from rice. Fishermen would clean the fish, stuff it with salt, and bury it in layers of cooked rice inside wooden barrels. There, the fish would ferment for months. The lactic acid from the rice and the salt created an acidic environment that prevented bacteria from multiplying, preserving the fish for up to a year. This technique arrived in Japan around the 8th century, along with rice cultivation. There, it became known as narazushi, or matured sushi. And here's the part that seems crazy today: the rice was thrown in the trash. It became so fermented and pasty that it was only used as a preservative. People only ate the fish, which had an extremely strong and sour taste. Imagine ordering sushi today and the chef saying, "The rice? Oh no, that's just to preserve the fish, we don't eat that." But time passed, and the Japanese, known for their dislike of waste, thought throwing that rice away was absurd. During the Muromachi period, in the 14th century, they invented naminare, or partially fermented sushi. Fermentation was shortened to a few weeks, and finally, the rice began to be eaten along with the fish. It no longer had that sour taste of spoiled food. It was now a snack. The big leap, however, happened in the 17th century during the Edo period. Someone had a brainstorm. What if, instead of waiting months for natural fermentation, we took a shortcut? They started adding rice vinegar directly to the rice. This recreated the sour taste of fermentation instantly, completely eliminating the waiting time. Hayazushi, or fast sushi, was born. This revolutionized everything. And then in 1820, in the midst of Tokyo's, then called Edo, cultural effervescence, a chef named Hanaya Yohei had a brilliant idea. At his street stall, he didn't want to press sushi into wooden molds anymore. He wanted something faster. He took a handful of vinegared rice, molded it with his hands, placed a thin slice of fresh fish on top, and voila! Nijirazushi, the shape we know today, was born. And guess what? It was the fast food of its time. Workers, artisans, and merchants ate it standing up at street stalls, like a quick snack. It was cheap, practical, and required no utensils. And the size? It was 2 to 3 times larger than today's. 3 or 4 pieces and a person was set for the workday. But the story doesn't end there. If you love salmon sushi, you can thank the Norwegians. Believe it or not, salmon was not a traditional fish in Japanese sushi. In Japan, Pacific salmon had parasites and wasn't safe to eat raw. It was in the 1980s that Norway, with a massive surplus of farmed salmon, decided to teach the Japanese to use the fish in sushi. A marketing campaign so successful that today it's impossible to imagine sushi without it. Another cultural invasion, avocado. Sushi with avocado is a 100% American invention. In the 1970s, a chef in Los Angeles, trying to please customers who turned up their noses at raw fish, created the California roll. He replaced tuna with avocado for a creamy texture, hid the seaweed inside, and put sesame seeds on the outside. It was an inside-out sushi that became a worldwide craze. And about that strong wasabi that stings your nose? Well, you've probably never eaten real wasabi. Real wasabi, called Wasabia japonica, is a rare and very expensive root. It's grated fresh and has a fresh, slightly sweet flavor that isn't overwhelmingly hot. 95% of the wasabi served worldwide is actually horseradish mixed with green dye. But don't feel tricked. The industry did this to make the dish cheaper and more accessible. And since we're talking about etiquette, in Japan, you can eat it with your hands, yes. Nijirazushi was created to be eaten with the fingers, in one bite. And please, Never drown the sushi in soy sauce. The rice is already seasoned. The right way is to turn the piece sideways and lightly dip just the fish. Wetting the rice makes it fall apart in the sauce and hides the flavor the chef prepared. So, next time you eat sushi, remember, you're not just eating fish and rice. You're tasting the result of 1,200 years of travel, innovation, and cultural adaptation. It was born as a preservative in Southeast Asia, became fast food in Japan, and transformed into a global icon at the hands of Norwegians and Americans. Amazing, isn't it? Now I want to know from you, which of these facts did you already know? And more importantly, is there another dish or food whose history you've always wanted to know? Drop it in the comments below. It could be the topic of the next video. If you enjoyed discovering the history of sushi, hit that like button to help the channel grow. And if you're not subscribed yet, subscribe right now and ring the bell because every week a new story is coming out of the oven. See you on the next plate.